Secunda's flair for publicity was matched by Roy Wood's songwriting talents. The first 4 singles all made the top 5.
The first record that we had released was Night of Fear, and that just went straight in and ended up being, it was number 2. And the second record was Like Any the Grass Grow, which was number 5. And I still hadn't got a publishing deal. So Tony Secunda took me to, this is what it was like in those days. Tony Secunda took me to Essex Music in London, and they signed me, and I was happy to have a publishing deal or whatever. And I'd had 2 top 5 records, and you know how much they gave me? 200 quid. They gave me 200 quid to sign. And Tony Secunda said, well, what do you want? I said, well, I would have liked enough to buy a tape recorder so that I could record my songs in my bedroom, and I didn't even get that much.
She just took me by surprise. She set the place afire. You'd be fascinated by her. We're gonna get the fire brigade, get the fire brigade. See the building start to really burn. Get the fire brigade, get the fire brigade. If you're drunk, you've got to wait your turn. The lights across the street throw a rainbow. To meet her, I'll be there. Notice that my eyes.
We've gone from being gangsters to all these hippies with beads and smelling flowers and incense. Trevor and Ace Kefford, they were really into it, because I was a bit of a rocker, if anything, and I quite like being the gangster. But I said, I don't want to wear a bloody caftan,
Secunda, even by his high standards, surpassed himself on getting publicity for the Move's next single, Flowers in the Rain. But it wasn't the sort of publicity the band were after.
One night we were down south playing somewhere, and we came out the gig, and it was like being Elizabeth Taylor or something, it was like 1,000 flashbulbs and everybody's there. And I said, what's happening? Like, don't you know, like, the Prime Minister's suing you? I said, what? So we go back to London, we go around to Tony's place. He said, oh yeah, I sent him this postcard. So, oh yeah. We didn't know what was on it or anything. And then he went out and bought all the newspapers, like about 4 in the morning, half 4, put them all on the floor. It was the front page of every newspaper in the world, and he went, there you go.
Wilson to sue pop group, Why? What have we done, And because he'd issued this, he'd had this postcard drawn up of Harold Wilson in a compromising pose with his secretary and all that sort of stuff, and we didn't know. And he made sure one was posted through number 10 Downing Street. I mean, he'd only had about 200 printed, but he'd made sure they'd gone to all the right people. And of course, he got huge publicity. But I think it backfired on him because we were scared, really.
Woke up one morning half asleep with all my blankets in a heap and yellow roses scattered all around. The time was still approaching, for I couldn't stand it anymore. So many clothes upon my eider down. I'm just sitting watching flowers in the rain, feel the power of the rain making the garden grow. I'm just sitting watching flowers in the rain, feel the power of the rain keeping me good.
By the following week, we were up in the Old Bailey, and it was nothing to do with the band whatsoever.
It wasn't a publicity stunt. How can anybody suggest it was? Wilson started legal proceedings. We did it as a cartoon, remember that? It's a cartoon. It wasn't intended to be anything but that,
Were you in court this morning to hear the case?
Yeah. Well, no. We went to court, but we were late getting there, so it was all over when we got there.
What happened by the time we got there?
About 25 to 11.
So you missed Mr. Quintin Hogg's address
thank
to
God.
the judge?
We let him down. Quintin who?
We'll never see the money, so I don't think we'll miss it.
We really suffered because, Tony Secunda didn't have to pay anything, against the judgment, but we lost all our royalties. And I lost more than anybody else because I wrote it. I lost my songwriting royalties as well.